Jumping headfirst into a trending headline from Punch newspaper this morning. It says federal government Labour meeting deadlocked as fuel price hits over 700 naira per litre. I'll take that again from Punch newspaper. Federal government Labour meeting deadlocked as fuel price hits over 700 naira per litre. Now, details. Talks between the federal government and organised labour over the removal of fuel subsidy ended in a deadlock on Wednesday as they failed to reach a consensus following the hike in petroleum prices to over 700 naira from 195 naira per litre by oil marketers. The hours-long meeting, which was held at the presidential villa, was to, among other things, prevent a labor crisis following the recent increase in the petrol pump price occasioned by the discontinuance of petrol subsidy. Earlier on Wednesday, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited said it had adjusted the pump price of premium motor spirit to reflect the market realities. The agency, however, failed to state the new prices of petroleum. However, several retail outlets sold the product between 600 and 800 naira in Lagos, Abuja, Ogun, and some other states as well. The National Public Relations Officer of IPMAN, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Chief Chinedu Ukadike, pointed out that the hike in the cost of PMS would trigger galloping inflation in the country, stressing that some outlets in the southeast were currently dispensing the product at 1,200 naira. Ukadike stated once NNPCL retail stations have adjusted their pumps to reflect the new prices, there is nothing you can do about it. That is the new price. As I speak to you, all of them are now selling at the new prices. The situation is so bad that somewhere in Ebonyi State, our members informed us that it is now being sold at 1,200 naira per litre. We thought the president would remove the subsidy through a seamless means because the source of this petrol is the NNPCL. They are the ones subsidizing petroleum products. They are the people who use their revenue to subsidize this product.
All right, taking it away from that one, let's go to the Punch newspaper still. This one right here has it for reject Atiku's BVAS exhibits, right? Tinubu, INEC, tell tribunal right there. Okay, details on that one. The Presidential Election Petitions Court in Abuja on Wednesday had admitted to a total of 337 exhibits tendered by the People's Democratic Party, that is the PDP, and its presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, challenging the emergence of President Bola Tinubu as the winner of the February 25 presidential election. Still in that story, at the resumed hearing in the matter, the PDP and Atiku, through their legal team, led by Chief Chris Uche, that is SAN, informed the court that the documents in evidence were in respect of 33 states of the Federation, with the exclusion of Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, and Lagos states. Now, among other documents that Atiku tendered before the court were results of the presidential election from Abia, Bayelsa, Kaduna, and Ogun states. Some of the petitioners also told the court that the certified results, which were contained in forms EC8A, were downloaded by INEC from its iRev portal. Right.
Okay.
You might as well want to consider the fact that, however, the respondents in the petition objected to the admissibility of the certified true copies of the documents which were presented before the court. Right.
Well, you have to realize that this is a battle right now. It's a huge battle, and everyone is trying to ensure that they win the case. Both the PDP and LP, they have the stakes are very, very high. Looking at the fact that a president has been inaugurated, he has been inaugurated, and one has to watch, because any case you bring to the court right now.
Right.
Individuals that you bring to the court right now will be tendered as evidence. So you have to be sure that your case is airtight to ensure that no matter what happens, your case won't be thrown out of court.
Well, assuredness is one part, but the hope of taking over the judgments from the courts, from the court standpoint, it's another, right? It's still a struggle, it's still a tussle, and we hope to see more evidence in this regard, and hope to see what the court will do at the end, especially considering the fact that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is already seated and hitting the ground running, as we've seen in the news, and we're seeing changes from left, right, and center.
Udwak, let me ask you a question. If you were the president, if you were seated in that, let me use, for lack of a better term, right? If you were seated on the throne, will you want to abdicate?
I would want to stay.
Okay. All right. Just so you know, we're going to have a very, very important guest join us via telephone this morning for our conversation. We have a Rufai Hosseini who will be joining us around 7:30 so we can discuss the headlines. So make sure that you are locked on 96.1 FM. So far, we've had a headline from Punch newspaper. It says federal government labor meeting deadlocked as fuel price hits over 700 naira to a litre. We also had another headline talking about reject Atiku's beavers, exhibit Tinubu INEC tell tribunal. So we've had those two headlines as well. And we're going to look on to another headline that just came in from Daily Trust. Very, very interesting, I might add. It says CBN devalues Naira to 630 to a dollar. So $1 goes to 630 Naira. So CBN devalues Naira to 630. This is an exclusive story on Daily Trust newspaper. It says here the CBN has devalued the Naira to 631 Naira to the dollar from 461.6 Naira it sold at the importers and exporters. Now, the devaluation came 48 hours after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu announced the plans of the federal government to unify the country's exchange rate to stimulate the economy. In his inaugural speech, minutes after he was inaugurated as the 16th president of the country, Tinubu said monetary policy needs a thorough house cleaning. The CBN must work towards a unified exchange rate. This will direct funds away from arbitrage into meaningful investment in the plant, equipment, and jobs that power the real economy. There has been a wide margin between the I&E, that's the importer and exporters window, and the parallel market, a situation that experts say encouraged round-tripping with the Bureau de Change operators. Now, the situation has seen the CBN devise several measures to check the practice as well as completely stop the sale of forex to BDCs. On Tuesday, President Tinubu met with the top echelon of strategic institutions, including the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele at the presidential villa. At the end of the meeting, neither the presidency nor Emefiele disclosed the outcome of the briefing. It was, however, gathered that the issue of the exchange rate was discussed at the meeting. The president also met with the group chief executive officer of the NNPCL, Melikiari. The removal of petrol subsidy was discussed. It was gathered as well. So it seems as though the president, is hitting the ground running, making very, very serious decisions. And one has to look at what the effect on an average Nigerian or the poor Nigerian, what that effect would look like. Because if you had a meeting with the NNPCL, the chief executive, the group chief executive officer of the NNPCL, and we saw the results yesterday.
That's right.
Looking at the price increase, we're going to be fluctuating between 430 and 550 thereabout.
Sure.
We're going to be fluctuating between those two prices. According to the NNPCL GCEO rather. And now we're seeing CBN go ahead to further devalue the Naira to a 631 Naira to a dollar. What exactly is the president thinking about?
And the Nigerian will sit there and wonder, how is this going to affect me, right? Because you might also want to consider, how much money would be in circulation. You might want to consider how that would affect businesses, especially SMEs in the country. But I mean, the experts know better. If they've been able to advise the president in this regard, and the president is actually taking flight on this note, what can we say?
Let's look at the CBN governor in itself. How many great policies have we really seen from someone occupying such an important position? How many great decisions has he made so far? Seen as the CBN, throughout the Buhari's administration, it didn't seem as though the CBN was sort of independent of the influence of politics, right? It
Right.
didn't seem that way, So one has to wonder, should the CBN be making such decisions? Right, the CBN governor, right? Rather, should he be in the best position to make such decisions? Can he really understand the effect of this decision to an average Nigerian? We're talking thousands of Nigerians who are outside the country. We're talking a lot of our foreign exchange, a lot of monies that we are sending out, a lot. Nigeria as a whole, we spend in dollars. You have to look at how that will reflect on our oil, because when you talk about how much a naira to a dollar is, you're talking about how much we're paying in subsidy, right?
Yeah.
That's one aspect. So let's take out aspect the subsidy, since it's going to be removed after June, right? Let's look at the oil in itself. We do not refine oil in Nigeria. We send it out, we export it, and then import the already refined product. So in that particular situation, right, how exactly is this increase in naira to a dollar, how is that going to help the oil? How is that going to help the oil sector?
Well, how is that going to help the oil sector? It still begs for answers. I mean, we do not have all of the answers, right? But the specialist, of course, should be able to do some justice to that in terms of informing the larger society as to what and how these policies or this new innovation would affect us, as a people, especially, in terms of every other aspect of the economy. It's not just about the economy, because the economy on its own cannot stand by itself.
The economy is everything.
It's everything, right.
You're talking food, you're talking lights, you're talking agriculture, you're talking health, you're talking education, you're talking everything. Everything has to do with the economy. So if you're talking about an increase, or such a drastic increase, right? If you had given Nigerians a couple of days or months to prepare their minds, to prepare their accounts, let's even put it that way, to prepare their accounts for these changes, then we would say, okay, you can make such changes. But isn't this too drastic a change for Nigerians? Isn't this such a heavy pill for Nigerians to swallow at a time like this?
I mean, we've seen drastic. We've first of all seen the president make a pronouncement, even though the pronouncement was only in tandem of what is already in the works, right? Talking about removal of subsidy, right? And now the president has gotten into yet another one. Drastic seems to be how it would be categorized.
Did Emefiele make this decision on his own, or does the president have anything to do with it? Because he did have a sit down, even though the press, newsmen were not privy to what exactly they discussed. But can we speculate? Because we did see Mele Kyari have a conversation with the president, and we did see Emefiele have a conversation with the president. So is it possible that the president has his hand in this?
Well, big questions right there, but we'll just let you know that we'll go on this quick break. When we come back, it will be us having a conversation with our, with Mr. Rufai right there, and we'll be giving you, some analysis, to some of these headlines that has been rolled out. We'll be right back in a short bit.
Add us to your favorites. Add us to your favorites.
Add us to your favorites.
And keep your browser locked.
Keep your browser locked. Yeah, this station's got soul.
Oh my God. Voice of the People, 96.1 FM, Abuja, Abuja, Abuja.
Voice of the people. 96.1 FM.
This is not just another radio on your dial. This is
Voice of the People, 96.1 FM, Abuja.
It's new, it is hot, and it's fresh. It's like nothing you've ever experienced. It's your voice on your radio. It's Voice of the People, 96.1 FM, Abuja. Now you have a voice.
Breathe. Exhale.
Take some time off that busy schedule. Let the music play on. Voice of the people, 96.1 FM. 96.1 FM.
This is not just another radio on your dial. This is
Voice of the People, 96.1 FM, Abuja.
Brace yourself.
So all I'm saying is
Oh man, wouldn't I love to go to
the beat rocks.
做工作應該有人講，成日心即係有做嘅第一做啊，
Listen, listen.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. This is Voice of the People, 96.1 FM ABJ. That would be the front page review. And yes, this is the analysis, segment. This is where we get to talk about topical issues, something that is on the front burner, something that, affects you as a person, right? Because we are all
As
about
Nigerian.
you as a Nigerian,
Yes.
right? Because we care about you. Yes, we'll be joining in with Mr. Rufai right now, Oseni, and he's on cue via phone call, having this conversation with us.
Hello, Rufai. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you guys? How's it going? Bless you all.
Very well, thank you, Mr. Rufai. Hope you
Good.
slept well, though.
Working every time. I
That's
just have
right.
a good.
First of all, Rufai, do you have a full tank at the moment?
A full time. So I was lucky enough to fill up my cars about a week ago. So I think so. But I know it's very soon. But you see, for me, and I think we need to educate Nigeria. Subsidy removal is good. We support it, but the way it's done is the problem. The fact that the government is not making enough revenue, it cannot subsidize food or petrol again. It has removed subsidy of others like diesel and the like, on aviation fuel. But it is only on petrol there's still subsidy. And how did this subsidy come about? Because there was international inflation in the price of petroleum products. In 1973, when they fought a Yom Kippur war between Egypt, Syria, and Israel, and the Arab nations that dominated went ahead and cut supply. The prices rose up a lot of barrels of $12. And the Nigerian government needs to help Nigerian people, talking to their people. And they talked about, since then we've been partners to need subsidies. But the problem has also been, and the argument is you cannot remove subsidies without fixing costs. And that's true. We've been spending a lot of money on refineries that FCC. We've been making a huge cost all this. And it's been detrimental. Not because we sell them, but using a lot of stuff for 100% for the resource there. So, the other argument that gets down to, yes, it will help us people, but you cannot depend on just one risk. And NFTC claimed all of a sudden that it had enough barrels in its tank farm to last a whole month. A day before yesterday. But yesterday they increased price adjustment, about the price adjustment, based on the reaction that subsidy is gone for the president by the major oil market. So that is speak volume about what is happening. And that's why you cannot even pull out subsidy without even actually knowing what goes on as regards to subsidy. A lot of people made the argument. In fact, this same government, I remember an article written that the same president in 2012 saying how much of was subsidy. In fact, this was he said clean out subsidy was a Jonathan's cat. But I'm sure reality has gone on. But actually, it's critical for able to see government revenue. So now it has to be, that's no question. But how it's going to go? Labour is key. There was a meeting up to late yesterday between Labour and the federal. And Labour, because Labour has firm. Also, once it's still more, people are going to be buying solar panels happen. The over 2 to 3 in price. How are people going to afford against that?
Exactly.
Or if you have inflation of 22% in Nigeria, this is also going to why are people going to buy? See, there's also a simplistic argument, a lot of the supply side economy. And you see, they take their thing of the 80s in America. When Ronald Reagan directed oil, the oil industry in 1981, it became the darling of the oil company centralized. But the truth is, no market is perfect. So the supply side actually always say, what to deregulate market over and then they will constantly supply. That's not true. There are many things market forces. A driver strike, a tanker driver strike is market forces. And we have seen that even despite the strike has been today, there will be some time that there is a lowering of production. That America has released strategic national debt to stabilize the price of the product. Is that a subsidy? So we've seen in bigger nations that those that are able to do still have a need of like a diesel cost. Look at diesel. Look at the inflation for it. Prices went skyrocketing, but the airline operators said they couldn't afford it. So did they go to the government and they were going to give them like 25 to 13, 24, 8, couple of months. It's not a subsidy. So because the market is not perfect, even if when you fully subsidize, to move direct, it doesn't mean that availability is going to stop every time. You are still going to have.
Rufai, even though we know that there's not going to be a disconnect in the availability of this product, right? Isn't this too sudden for Nigerians? Because it's such a hike. We're talking about more than 3 times the actual the normal price Nigerians are used to overnight. And you have to look at the fact that NNPCL is the major company, the sole importer and exporter of petrol in Nigeria. So
if you head on argument, you just reiterate. That's the argument that all in this community. The fact that I talked about inflation, I talked about infection, but I'm also disabusing the process of supply side that says that let market forces take over. Yes, they will take over, but also you also have to have an eye on the market. If you don't do that, you destroy the process of the poor. Because the argument is Reagan, without the economic structure, they impoverish the government. And you don't want to make Nigerians poor. Already you have 103 million people that are poor. You're telling them now, for this in price. For population that don't have 98% of Nigeria, 100,000 in their bank account. 98% of Nigeria. If you see 10 Nigerians, sample size, at least it is about 7 that might have a little over 100,000. So these are the problems. Well, that's what we're saying. It is too sudden. This aspect. Fix the problem. That's the problem. Because the major marketers is not the important here. Where's the forest for them? This was the same major market that were asking that they wanted CES to be able to give them certain rates for forest so that they were able to build it. So these are the arguments. Let's say something with yourself. It has to go.
All right.
Please think about
Rufai, yeah.
And it will hurt a lot of people.
All right, Rufai, yeah. Can you hear me? Well, I'm glad that you've made quite a lot statements, right, in with regards to the issue of the fuel, increments, the hike, the removal of subsidy and everything. But some quarters of the country believe that Nigerians are taken for a joke. Why? Because at some point there was in the news the fact that this all removal would not take immediate effect, and then suddenly, almost less than 24 hours, the NNPCL comes out to giving us new prices for fuel. In fact, thereby legitimizing what speculations had already been about. Do you think the Nigerians have been considered in this process of change?
So you can now see that, and that's why anytime that's in Nigeria, we have more than supply of the land, and it's only one. You can Google what that to see all the things like.
Hello, Rufai. Let's try to reach you on another line.
Right.
This is having some network issues. We're not hearing you clearly, so we'll try to reach you on another line. Okay.
Okay.
That's right. All right, you're still listening to Voice of the People front page review right here on Voice of the People. And yes, we've been having a conversation with Rufai Oseni, and it's been giving us, his thoughts regarding, the fuel subsidy removal, as well as its negative effect on
all right,
Nigerians.
We have him back on. And we're still discussing this issue of the fuel, right? Rufai.
Let me respond to that question. Yes, NNPC has taken a step Nigerians for right, which is, but it just goes. They didn't plan this. If they had planned it, it will not be here. If NNPC had planned it and prepared for it all, they had planned it. After the president's pronouncement, it is not market for dominating how NNPC these prices. The NNPC is based on our plan. We have this already on. So now it's just like acting what the president said, and that's should not be problem. That's just the bone of contention.
All right. So the CBN has gone ahead to devalue the naira. It was 461.6 naira to a dollar. This was as at yesterday, and then this morning we're seeing headlines that it is 631 naira to a dollar. So how exactly do you think this would affect, the process? Even though subsidy is going to be removed, we're still going to be exporting and refining, and then importing the fuel, the product right back into Nigeria. So what exactly is this going to mean for the landing cost of the fuel?
So, as a newsman with many years, I'm very iffy when I see news. I don't want to dwell too much on the story.
Okay.
I have reached contact in the city. They'll give me also, because what was said in the story, an importer in the act to report amounts. If I don't have enough data from the CBN, I don't want to believe that. For an importer bought for that, I can't take that and run it. It's not imaginary in an ethos. I'm sorry to say. I will wait for the CBN with an official report as regards to it, that they have devalued the naira. Yes. But if Daily Trust says, importer bought for that and your window, I about that.
Well,
but like if that is true, then the dynamics are changing. Devaluing your currency means that your debt will increase. Nigeria's debt at $1 will increase. A lot will happen. Bring more hardship. It's as simple as that. And inflationary pressure.
All right. Let's move on to the leadership of the 10th National Assembly. From Vanguard newspaper here, there's a headline. It's talking about APC Tinubu allegedly back out of Akpabio's endorsement. There's been a lot of speculations about what the leadership of the 10th National Assembly is supposed to be like. Strong indications yesterday suggested that the candidacy of the former Senate Minority Leader, Senator Godswill Akpabio, may have hit a brick wall as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is said to have withdrawn his support for him in the contest for the Senate President in the 10th National Assembly. Recall that the APC had announced the endorsement of Senator Godswill Akpabio and 3 others for the topmost positions in the National Assembly. Is the APC playing with the leadership of the 10th National Assembly? Because we know that the minority they can come together and form a majority at this point.
No. You see, what is playing out is politics. And I told people and surrogates of Apostle Fabio that they should be careful. It's beginning to play out. It's what aligns. It's interest. You see, what is happening? Those that are in the interest are gaining ground. I interviewed them the other day and he was talking about how we're using money to make it. It is interest and align for this to play out in the end. So when all that, we stand with Akpabio and I was laughing. What it just means is that they never gave me a chance. But Sayari, former governor of Zamfara, I've been able to mount a big resistance. It's going to be a showdown on that day. Go and mark my words. It's not going to be as easy for anybody. So now, they've left it open. And what it means, and that's why we're talking about Muslim ticket. What it means is that in a case where Yari gets it, you have the first 3 people in the country as Muslims.
Yes.
That's what it means. So for the House, it's not one size fits all. Let me tell you when it comes down to who becomes Senate president, exchange hands, it's who has the deeper pockets that can influence his fellow senators. And that Abuja feel that the people are already spending.
But at this point in time, Nigerians made noise. They made a noise about the Muslim ticket when Bola Ahmed Tinubu was running, right? And nothing happened. Nothing happened about that. So, do you think anything can happen if we have the 3 topmost important Nigerians as Muslims? What do you think that? What do you think? How do you think that would play out in the minds of Nigerians?
I think it will just set a principle as ABC because we sound. It will just set a. That's all. And a Fabio should watch it. Carry my naked. This care is not taken.
All right, let's get on to yet another daily now. This one, of course, being the Punch newspaper, and it says the EFCC chairman Bawa meets Tinubu at Aso Rock Villa, right? And this seems as though it is a fallout of what had happened between the EFCC and the DSS at the Ikoyi property in Lagos. And the meeting actually came barely 24 hours after Tinubu had ordered the Department of State Services to vacate the Ikoyi office of the Anti-Graft Commission. And now, even though the president had added his voice into this conversation or into what was going on between the DSS and the EFCC, there has been some speculations that it seems as though some of these agency leaders might just be an issue of playing to the gallery or showing eye service, trying to be in the good books of the president. Do you think that we'll be seeing a lot of that with heads of agencies in the coming days?